Hello everyone! Today we are making a build in the Forgotten Lands for Halloween! Happy Halloween everyone! I hope you're all having a good and safe time and you're all being responsible as possible. So, we are going to be building the Forgotten Lands, but it's going to be a little bit more fairy core, girly almost. I am not a huge fan of the whole like creepy factor, so I typically go for a little bit more pastel. I'm still gonna make it a little dark, don't get me wrong, but I wanted something that would make me feel happy when I come in here. So yes, it's being posted on Halloween, but we're not going super creepy, nothing crazy like that. So I have a two layers of waterfalls for the Sunlit Plateau. The second layer starts in the Forgotten Lands, as you can see. So I'm trying to build a wall here that kind of distracts you from it, because otherwise it's kind of an eyesore. So I put these pillars from the Lovely Monsters event, and these pillars that are supposed to be like the Forgotten. You get it when leveling up, and then you can buy more at Scrooge's. I put these pedestals down from Jack Skellington. They were a premium shop item, and then I'm just grabbing a random assortment of little objects that fit on it to make it look almost like a museum, I guess. I just thought that would look really nice, and I think it came out pretty decent. Adding some foliage around that lake and around these waterfalls, or sorry, fountains. But I do go back and take some, away from the pond, because I felt like I was kind of overdoing it, trying not to make it too overgrown, but pretty, of course, adding colors and everything. These plants are actually from Eternity Isle, but I thought they looked really good here, especially with what I want to do and how like vibrant I want it to look. I did put these magnolia paths down that we just got in the Tiana update. But I do end up going back and changing that to the actual piles of magnolia flowers, because it just ended up looking a lot better. I was trying to be cheap and like use the paths because they were free, but it looks much better with the piles of the flowers instead. So I go back and change that, don't worry. And then here I was trying to figure out what to do around the corner. I didn't like continuing the pattern, it just didn't feel like it was working properly. So instead I ended up putting Goofy's stall there actually, but first I went and did the well. I'm a little all over the place, sorry. That tends to happen when I'm building. I love these tall trees, I love the way they curve, they're very pretty, so I made them kind of swirl around the well. It looked really magical and pretty, so I thought that looked really nice. This is where I add Goofy's stall. I was debating on putting it in the front, but I thought it looked better on the side. It didn't fully match the vibe I was going for in the front, so it just looked a lot better here. I end up continuing the hedges around the side over here to kind of give it a more finished look. Just kind of added to the wall that I already previously made. But yeah, it makes it look a little more finished, I think, so much better. I ended up making these wrought iron street lamps that are purple. They give off a really bright purple hue. Looks very pretty again with the pastels that I want to go with. Of course, right now we're having that issue where the lights are a little too extreme, so I didn't end up showing you it at night because it just went a little too crazy, but I'm hoping eventually when they fix it and it tones it down a little bit, it'll look just perfect, so I'm really excited about that. So I added them all along this wall here to brighten everything up. You can really see what I'm trying to show off. Starting with the path over here by the treehouse. Now, unfortunately, you can't move this treehouse once you discover it. So I'm trying to incorporate it as best I can. It gets a little hectic, I think, but I do like the way it turns out. Also, it's really dark right now, so I'm so sorry. You really can't see anything. I do end up fixing the lighting here soon, and you'll be able to see a bit better. I was trying to figure out the foliage here. I want to continue with those little purple vines, but I'm also adding the purple, like, Forgotten Lands bushes and the Frosted Height bushes. I thought they gave that nice contrast to each other, but it wasn't too repetitive. Now we're going to start with Jack's house. I did originally have my witch's house there, but I decided it would look better by the pond, and Jack's house just had a lot more space over there. So ended up changing my mind there. With Jack's house, I've been seeing a lot of people put these hills behind it, but put 2 of them, so it kind of makes a heart. I thought it was really cute, matched my aesthetic perfectly for this build, so I ended up doing that. And now I did get inspiration from someone on TikTok or Reddit, I forget what it was. Someone put the cherry blossom trees in front of Jack's house, and that's where I got the inspiration for this entire Forgotten Lands build. I will try to link them down below, but I don't remember their name offhand right now. So I'll try to link them down below. If I can't, I'm sorry. It has been a while since I've seen it, but if you guys know, let me know down in the comments. Put some more of those cherry blossom piles down. I finally came to my senses and bought a bunch of them, so they're everywhere now. I also decided, you really can't see it that well, but I'm using the wrought iron fence here. Since we can get more wrought iron a lot more efficiently now, I have a lot more of it and I was willing to use it. So I put the wrought iron fence there and some wrought iron furniture for him and Sally to sit at when we get Sally in December. I'm so excited. So the wrought iron fence looks really nice here though, with the little lights on it. Makes it look a little fancy, but very pretty, and still a little dark. Put a few of these little path tiles down. Thought they looked really nice. Made it like a little stone like walkway from the path to the seating area, so I thought that was nice. Outside, I put a few of these sparkling benches, again adding to the sparkly pastel feel, but also it's still stone, still gray, you know, still matches the whole Halloween vibe, I feel like. I wanted them outside. I ended up putting, I think, a bit of foliage around them, but we're gonna go back over to the well again. Sorry, again, I'm all over the place. That's just how I build. I ended up putting some pathing under the well. Thought that looked really nice. And then I continued the pathing from Jack's to the well, and then ended up connecting the path from the treehouse and, I keep wanting to say Scrooge's, but it's Goofy's stall. I end up connecting all those paths and adding a bunch of foliage around them as well. I'm adding the foliage here, again going back and forth, trying to use both bushes. I keep wanting to say like almost like a Cruella de Vil, like the black and white, but instead it's this like white and purple. I don't know. I thought it looked kind of cool. So I continue that throughout the build, you'll see. But I think it ended up looking really nice together. And again, bringing that dark Halloween vibe. I keep like this entire thing I'm just gonna be saying either pastel or Halloween. It's gonna be both, and I'm gonna keep saying it, and I'm realizing that, and I'm sorry. Ended up adding some more of the spooky trees by Jax because I wanted to add more pumpkins around his place as well. He is the Pumpkin King after all, so I figured it would fit perfectly. Added some more foliage that's not just the trees, so we have some different color variation. It ends up looking really cool when I add all the pumpkins with all the different colors and everything. I wanted to add his Christmas tree to his yard, but I just felt like it was really out of place, so I'll just let him keep his tree on the inside instead. It works out better for both of us. Now here's where I'm finally going to do more of the build around the treehouse. Like I said, this is going to get a little chaotic. We're going to somewhat match what I did on the little hedge wall where I had the thorny pillars and those little flowery, I guess, pillars as well, or arches. But I had to make the path first to figure out where I needed to add everything. Sometimes I've noticed that either I need a house or a path down. Then I can figure out the decoration around it. Otherwise, I get very confused. So this is kind of my process. So I have the build down. I'm going to move to putting down the pathing, which I think looks really nice. Kind of try to make like a circle around it almost. And then we'll add all the furniture. And then I end up adding trees at the end, I find, because just ends up blocking your view way too much if you try to add them while you're still building. I learned that from a few people on TikTok as well, because I was getting so like confused like how these people were making amazing builds and I couldn't see around my trees. So like, how am I supposed to make amazing builds, you know? Here, you just don't add the trees till the end. I just couldn't figure that out for some reason. So we're going to be adding more of the pillars here. And then, like I said, I end up taking those arches and putting them in the middle of the pillars. I think it ends up looking pretty cool, but yes, very chaotic at first because I wasn't sure how much to add. So I put a little too much, I think. So here I'm taking away some of the pillars because it was a lot. I wanted to put more of the magnolia flowers down the piles, adding more foliage. I end up, we'll see in a minute here, I take the water fountains and I start putting those in the pillars. That ends up like really finishing it off, giving it a very nice, elegant look, I think, and kind of drawing it all together, especially with those hedges on the other side. Ended up adding a few more of these purple lights. Again, it gives it like just the perfect lighting. I just hope they can tone them down soon. It would make it even better. Here, I'm trying to add foliage to round the pathing so it doesn't look as sharp. I know they said they're going to add angled pathing in the future. It sounds like with the Sally update, which I'm really excited about, but I'm not sure how it's going to work, if it's still going to be a sharp edge or if and you can just put it at a slant or what. So I'm anxious to see what people can do with that and what I can eventually learn to do with it. Now this is my favorite part of the build. I'm making a pet cemetery, but not like the creepy movie, you know, we're gonna ignore that. No, I'm making a very cute pet cemetery, and here the animals are going to be the sweetest little things that just travel around, you know, just living their best lives. I don't have the zero house. I really want to get it, but I keep not having enough moonstones or really wanting something else. So I'm waiting for it to come back again before Halloween goes away, but I doubt it's going to happen now. So I ended up putting these houses down that you get from Eternity Isle with a quest with Rapunzel, I believe. They kind of look like bushes, you know, with the green. So I'm trying to kind of cover them up because obviously I don't want you to see them immediately. But it also ended up making me run into a lot of trouble. You'll see me like rearrange this a few times because a lot of the time the animals were getting stuck behind everything and weren't coming actually out behind or from behind the pillars. So I ended up fixing that in a bit here. You'll see again, I ended up messing with it quite a bit to make it actually work properly, but in the end we did get there. Here I've seen people use these flower beds as little like mounds of dirt where you buried them, so I thought that was a really cool idea, putting down some flowers and candles. You know, their families are still visiting and leaving them little gifts. Ended up using this jack entrance again. I use this quite a bit actually. It's perfect for the whole build. And then I end up using the wrought iron fence as well to cage it all in and hopefully keep the animals from running out. I have seen one of the animals come out of the entrance a few times, but they always go right back in, so I'm not too worried about it. Here's where I'm messing with the houses again. We will get there. We will fix this and we will figure it out. And one day I'll get a 0 headstone and I will be fine. But for now, we struggle busing. We've almost got it here. Again, taking me a while, but right here is actually where it starts to work properly. You won't see it till the end, but I was popping in and out trying to make sure it was working, and it was. I just had to, again, do a lot of finicking because like this, it worked, but I just had to barely move over the headstones and then it was like perfect. So just very annoying little tweaks here and there. So sorry you have to sit through it, but if I deleted all this, the video would be like 3 minutes. So sorry. And with that, it finally works. I am so happy with this part. This part is probably my favorite. I can't wait for you to see it at the very end because it just ends up being so perfect. It's exactly what I had pictured, so I think that's why I'm so happy with it. Is it a sad concept? Possibly, but they're pink little floaty animals. They're adorable, so like, it's fine. Ended up finding out that because of all my finicking and moving things around, it was the entrance was off center, so I had to go and fix that and fix a few of the pieces in the front because of it. So that's always fun. Now we're finally going to work on the new witch house. So this came out in the premium shop not too long ago now, and I wanted to put the Dreamlight fruit tree, whatever, near it because it just looked so magical. It looked perfect together. So I'm building a little path around the pond just to make it seem like, oh, you know, maybe she takes little strolls out there. I don't know, okay? I don't know her life, even though I'm probably the one living there, but it's fine. Finally adding some foliage, again, just to round out the path, make it not look as sharp. Does it completely work? No, because I'm trying to keep the item limit as a minimum, so hopefully it looks decent. Ended up finding this fountain later on, so I ran back over to the well and put it next to it because I have to have this fountain. Now I'm adding a little witch's cauldron, some pumpkins, some potions, just making it real witchy here. I wanted to add this bench, but then I found out that the bench covers the window to the house, so it doesn't actually fit correctly size-wise. So I ditched that idea. Ended up moving the cauldron over by the tree. It fit in perfectly with the little potions, and you won't see this till later on, but I do add a few other things to that area. Also added the really big magical like flowers. Just seemed like something like maybe a spell went wrong. She grew her flowers too huge, or maybe she did it on purpose. Who knows? Also added this cute little bench next to the pond, just so that she had somewhere to sit. Over here, I wasn't too sure what to do. I don't go crazy. I add some pathing, that's about it. Maybe some foliage. I can't get rid of all this stuff, so it just has to be incorporated somehow because we're stuck with it now, so. You'll also see that I started digging some holes. I didn't leave that footage in because digging holes in this game takes forever, but I'm adding some pumpkin patches. You'll see those all filled in at the end. I wasn't too sure what to do here. I wanted this to stay here, this little vacuum, but I wasn't too sure what to do with it, so I just stuck it in the middle there where one of the fountains were. I end up adding a bit more to it at the end. Here, I'm just building the path for your exit out to where Scar's lair is. A lot of this area is just path and trees, and then I think I added a pumpkin patch. I wasn't too sure what to do with the entrance. I have a hard time figuring things out and like where things should go when there's no house to put there, where I feel like I don't have enough houses right now for the Forgotten Lands. So a lot of this is like a pumpkin patch, path, and some trees, just for the entrance to be pretty simple, pretty open. I do really like it, but I am anxious to have more villains to add into this area. Or maybe I leave it empty and I add villains to the new areas we're getting. Who knows? I haven't even decorated the Eternity Isle yet, so we'll get to that when we get to it. Ended up adding this wrought iron fence, again, kind of adding to the fact that it's meant to be a museum. Don't go touch. It kind of reminds me of like the area where Megara sings I Won't Say I'm in Love from Hercules. I very much like that, but yeah, that's kind of what it reminds me of. Now I'm finalizing a few things, going around adding more cherry blossom piles, or sorry, the magnolia flower piles, and again adding the final touches over here with a few more trees and a few more leaf piles. I also had to go through and add more lighting. You'll see that at the end. I forgot to add a path over here out of the Forgotten Lands to the other exit slash entrance from Sunlit Plateau, so I ended up adding a really quick little path here and some quick foliage. That's my plan for anything I don't know what to do with. A path and some foliage, alright? I don't know what else to tell you. Here we are. This is the entrance. You can see some of the pumpkin patch on the side here, the little museum area, wall hedge thing, I don't know, but it looks cute. Here is the well. And then I have the little vacuum behind it. You can see I added a little archway to enter it. There's more pumpkin patches, Jack's little area. I love all the pumpkins and the spooky trees in the back. It looks very nice. And a little spot for him and Sally to have some tea together, or a little date, who knows. This is where the treehouse is. I think it came out really cute. I especially like it from the bottom, but it looks really nice with the top part showing as well. Now, my favorite part, the pet cemetery. You can see the little guys running around now. It fits perfectly. They're all pink. They match the magnolia trees. I absolutely love it. That's my favorite part of this whole build. I have a few more pumpkin patches over here, as you can see. This is that little area I didn't really know what to do with, so yeah. I added some more flowers. Here you can see I added some more to her little witch area. I have this well of souls or whatever. I had this little basket of clothing in front. Thought it was really cute with all the clothing that's hanging out. But that's it. That's the build. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Happy Halloween. Have a good time and be safe, please. Thank you. Bye.